Well, on our side, the weather has been like magical, like especially today. But the entire week it was like slowly warming up, and the weather was really nice and sunny over the last couple of days. Like since today
So
when
it's
I
still
came,
cold at night, but nice during the day.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's fresh.
So today I was like, I
Chris.
climbed on the bike and I was like, this is such an awesome weather.
Yeah.
Sunshine, like 20
Probably got better weather there than I have here.
for sure.
It's
dude.
winter there.
For sure. Andrew, this coffee is amazing.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
thanks.
coffee,
Just waiting for
the
the
coffee
camera.
and the chicken wrap just hit the spot, man.
Oh, for goodness sake, I'm glad the bloody cameras are not on.
Okay, I'm just having a bit of an issue with Facebook.
FaceTime.
Okay, there we go.
We are live on YouTube.
I think so. I don't know. It says here your video
Yeah, we are.
ended. Yeah, on
let's
YouTube,
have-
yeah. Just on Facebook, I'm not.
Facebook.
Hmm?
What would be the Chinese ripoff of YouTube? My pipe.
My pipe. 60, what, episode 60? You guys didn't do an episode last week.
No,
Nice.
we didn't.
How did it go the week before?
Yeah, it actually went quite well. We went down a bit of a rabbit hole there.
we basically just let loose, man.
Okay, guys, we live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. So I think it's a good time to kill the music, bring the other music in,
Bring the intro.
show our ugly mugs. Hello.
Awesome. How's everyone doing?
There you guys are.
Yeah.
You know what's the sad thing
Straight
about
my
this whole
camera.
setup is that like I don't think Andrew's gonna have time to actually like eat his chicken wrap until the end of this podcast.
Unfortunately, I'm close to the end.
There he is.
Yeah.
Man, it's not bad, eh?
Hey, do
Not
you want
bad.
to center my camera a bit? That would be useful.
I'm telling you, dude, it's like the chicken wrap and the coffee just connected with me on
When, like-
another level.
Went well together. Is that better, Lester?
Yeah, man.
Are you a little bit more centered?
I'm now
Namaste.
namaste, centered,
Namaste.
man.
Cool. Well, guys. Yeah, 61, eh?
Yeah, I haven't seen you
Um,
guys for a few weeks.
Yeah.
You're right.
So tell us how you're doing. So the first week you were at a bachelor's or some boys' weekend thingy.
Yeah.
And the next one was
bachelor
family
weekend.
related, right?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us about the first weekend.
And I'm feeling old. So it was weird on a few fronts because we're just coming out of COVID lockdown, right?
Yeah.
So this was like the first sort of weekend where there were no restrictions, and after having restrictions for so long, it was weird. We didn't know how to act. But yeah, I mean, it started off with an escape room, and we're like, how do you do should we social distance? I don't know how this works.
How was
So
the
if we have to
escape?
escape, do we just go one and then wait a minute so we can make sure we got social distancing as we escape? What else was there? Clay pigeon shooting, archery, go-karting, quad biking.
Jeez,
Yeah.
did you
And
guys
then-
have enough
and then
time
we
to
hit
do
the
all
town.
this shit? Did you have
Yeah,
enough
we got
time
up
to
early,
do?
man.
Okay, so it was like a whole day event.
It was intense, man. We were all shattered come the end of the day. But then we still went out. And I went to a nightclub for the first time in, I don't know when. And that was weird because I was standing there in the middle of this nightclub, and the music was thumping, and it was pretty awesome, and everyone's having a good time and letting their hair down. And then I realized, hang on a second, we got a COVID pandemic going on. Who are these 100 people on my doorstep here? They are dancing. They're in each other's personal space. Is this right? This doesn't feel right. Oh, is it right? No, they say it's right, but we're still getting 30,000 new cases a day. Ah!
It's crazy. But I mean, do you
Yeah.
find that, are you saying that because we've had this lockdown, we've got this social distancing, we've got into the habit, that all of a sudden these things which were so normal before the pandemic just like seem a little bit wrong at the moment? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, for starters, I mean, maybe because we had a few pints, queuing up outside, going into a nightclub. It all felt perfectly normal, and this is how it used to be. Because I haven't been in a nightclub in COVID times, so you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
It's only when you're in
absolutely.
there. About half
Have
an
you
hour
been
in,
to-
I was like,
Do you often go to the
"There's something
nightclub
wrong
like?
here."
Do you often go to the nightclub like outside COVID times, like even before?
Obviously, not as you get older, you don't do as much. But yeah, I've been in a lot of venues with live music and dancing and drinking, and the confined spaces
Yeah.
of an evening establishment,
Okay.
evening entertainment establishment. That
Okay.
sounds wrong.
Yeah, as you get older, you don't go to nightclubs, you go to other things.
No, I mean, you guys
mean
go to
golf?
music news as well, right?
mean
So
golf?
Sure. Yeah. Golf. Absolutely golf.
I think he's talking about golf. Like
Yeah. I'm talking about golf. Yeah.
but it was weird, and it took me a while to get used to, and I'm still thinking about it.
You're like traumatized. When you're
Yeah,
like
I mean, if
still,
you think,
Do you like need to
Like
talk to
all-
somebody?
yeah,
yeah, maybe I
therapy.
do, eh? Well, that's what you guys are here.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true.
All the pubs we went to go drink at still had their measures in place where you have to wear a mask if walking, and everything is socially
Really?
distanced, even though we've got a unrestriction of rules.
Okay.
But they still had that in place. So this is what we were used to.
And what was people's reaction to that? You get to an establishment and they say, "Hey, where's your mask?" Or, what were people?
Yeah, well, we're prepared, right? We've all got backup masks and the masks and
Okay, so like it's not like you've got the anti-maskers now. That's everyone's been like
we do.
vaccinated and okay.
Yeah.
No, because I was just wondering what the deal would be.
there's a big thing that people are not. There's a big push on the anti-vaccinators
Yeah.
who don't agree with it, and that's why if you look at so there's a struggle now to get the sort of mid-30s downwards, younger and younger, trying to get them vaccinated. And there's all sorts of incentives coming out there now. You get a free Uber ride, you get Spotify, I think it is.
Oh, really?
You get all sorts of things to incentivize you to go and get your shot, because the people that are now in critical care with COVID in the hospitals, and we still have nearly 1,000 at any one time. They're all sort of mid-30s and younger.
Wow.
wow.
Wow. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And vaccine-wise, I mean, what's happening vaccine-wise?
I think we're around 88% of the adult population have had vaccination, at least one vaccination.
That is good. That is really good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I can't remember where we left off the last time. I mean, I've been vaccinated since. Were you vaccinated
Yeah.
before or after our last episode with Lester?
Well, actually, 2 weeks ago. Exactly 2
okay.
weeks ago.
So
So
after-
it's like when we did the last podcast, when Lester couldn't join us, I was
Yeah.
already vaccinated.
Okay.
And you were
Yeah.
considering to go.
Yeah, well, not concerned. Yeah, I wanted to go. It was just finding the right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I
was-
stood. Okay, so here's my vaccination story. A mate of mine calls me up and says, "Hey, listen, it's like a Friday morning." He says, "Hey, was it a Friday morning? Yeah, I think it was a Friday morning." He says, I'm standing here at the community center. There's 50 people in front of me. Why don't you pull in and come get your vaccine?" So I said, "Okay, cool, no problem." I pulled in there. Like we waited, I think at like Hopper 7 or something. They opened up. I think I got there at about. He was there at Hopper 6. I got there at about 6:45. Hopper 7, they open up. And then they're like, all the people here for their second shots. Okay, come to the front, please. All of you people that were here yesterday and got a white card, can you please come to the front? It's like 200 people in front of us all of a sudden, kind of thing. So like after 3 hours, like at 10 o'clock, him and I said, hey, the line's not moving.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can we get a white card for tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. So like, no, let's go get breakfast. So we went and grabbed some breakfast quickly.
That was a smart move. There.
Yeah, and then my next attempt was that same mate of mine, Brian. He went to Mill Park.
Yep.
And he said, hey, listen, it took him like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So the one morning I just pulled into Mill Park and just got it done.
Did you also like took about an hour?
Yeah, it probably took about an hour, yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, I was there an hour and a
Take an
half.
hour.
Sorry?
What? Why does it take so long?
Oh, well,
It's
Just
lots
curious.
of people, man.
It's like a 4-stage process,
Yeah.
right? Plus, I think at Mill Park, because it's a hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a hospital vaccination site. What they try to do is they try to obviously prioritize the elderly. So what they do is basically allow the elderly to go first and get their vaccination done as quickly as possible. And then basically everyone else that comes in, whether you have an appointment or not. But if you go for a second shot, you should really consider Liberty Center in Braamfontein because my wife went there and literally took it 30 minutes.
okay, cool.
But even Mill Park is cool. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you now that when I went, it's like gone in 60 seconds.
Gone in 60 seconds.
But they most
Seriously.
likely have like an industrial level pipeline where you just come over,
There was only 6 bays.
put out your shoulder.
giving injections. I mean, you
Yeah.
walk in, they check your details. They're already ready with all your paperwork.
Yeah.
Check your details, ask you a few basic questions. They say, go sit down there. And as your bum touches the seat, they call you up again, going, right, did you drive here? Fine, come this way.
Mhm.
Wait there. Okay, as you're about to sit down, they like pick you. Somebody pitches up and right, this tent number 3. Right, okay. Sitting comfortably, bang. Right, thank you for coming. Don't drive home straight away, and there's the door.
Yeah. Did they
There's-
monitor you for
There's no queuing.
Did they
for like
monitor
half
you?
an hour or whatever afterwards, or how did they do it?
No, they just said don't drive within
Oh.
10, 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, we had to sit in like a 15 minutes
Waiting area. Yeah.
See if you get the ticks.
What flavor did you get?
Pfizer.
Both of you.
Yeah.
That's the
lucky man.
predominantly the most available one at the moment. There are J&Js around.
But I think they're using J&Js for like medical stuff. But I got Pfizer, and I actually didn't have any side effects afterwards. Besides, the next morning my shoulder was sore.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And that
I
was
think on the
pretty much it.
Pfizer one, people are saying they have more side effects on the second dose.
Yeah.
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 I've heard that. Yeah.
So like we better.
So what, you got to wait now 6 more weeks before the next one?
That is correct answer.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's cool. It's moving along.
Oh, don't die on us, Oleg. There's the side effects
Jeez,
right
dude.
there.
Yeah, you can't
With
talk
that
and
cough,
drink
you sure
at
he
the
hasn't
same-
got
You're right,
COVID?
dude. You're right. I'm okay.
Oh, he's okay. I mean, let's do a quick COVID test here. He's
It's
got
just the
this
coffee.
cough.
Coffee
the
went into
coffee,
the wrong
right.
throat.
Yeah, it's talking and
Alright,
drinking
let's
at the same
check.
time.
Have you got a sense of taste?
Yes,
I mean,
I
did
do.
that chicken wrap taste like
Do you
chicken?
feel dizzy?
Yeah. The chicken wrap. The chicken
Did
wrap.
it taste like
tasted-
chicken because you knew you were eating chicken, or did it taste like something else?
Well, he saw me cook it, so.
I was like,
Oh,
I
I
didn't just
see.
see
I was-
him cook it. I also smelled him cook it.
Yeah, you see, I don't believe you. You could just be saying this to avoid the COVID test.
Possibly, yeah. You're going to have to check in for avian flu now.
Avian,
H1N1.
swine, bird, man
Yeah.
flu. Yeah,
Yes.
all of them.
A man flu. Is there a vaccine for man flu?
Not yet, man. It's too tough to break down.
Yeah. Yes, so I think the last time we chatted, we were talking about the looting that was happening in South Africa.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Is that how are things now?
Yeah, no. It's it was
Calm down. Food's
yeah,
restored.
Yeah. It's besides the rand taking a bit of a knock and fuel price going up by more than a rand per
I think
litre.
we're sitting like on record fuel price at the moment. Like
Yeah, 18
all-time
and a
record.
half or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Next
Yeah,
time
not
I'm gonna
great.
walk to Andrew's place
Yes.
or like take a bicycle.
Yeah. Probably good for your health. But yeah, things have calmed down, so fortunately. And I mean, I suppose afterwards, after the seriousness of it has like dissipated and all that kind of thing, you do start getting seeing the humorous side of it. Photos of guys trying to fit a 60-inch TV into the back of their, Corolla or something like that, and not being able to get it, right. I think we spoke about the guy.
Yeah.
One guy had his number plate on, another guy didn't have his number plate on.
Yeah. Some guys came prepared, others basically didn't.
Yeah. So I mean, there was one funny story. There was this thing about this blue leather couch
Yeah, I saw
that
that.
got lifted from a furniture place in Durban, right?
It was like
Right.
really like funny blue color. It was like a signature blue color.
Yeah. So
Right, so it's not a common thing. Right.
Yeah. So the thing was, right, so apparently what happened was that these guys took a photo of themselves in the township close by and posted it on social media. So this thing started doing a bit. So people knew who these people were that lifted the couch and everything. But it was but I mean, like it's like a 68,000 rand leather suite, right? And they found it in this informal settlement.
Not too far away from the place.
Yeah, not too far away from the place. But interestingly enough, the same week that this thing that the story was going around, if I
Yeah. Oh, it's for sale in Joburg, though. Fantastic. Yeah. We've had this story. We loved it. Heidelberg tourism is well thankful. Yeah. And blue couches. You just know. It's ridiculous, man. No, it's exactly
crazy.
0 cents.
Yeah. So I mean,
Uh,
when you buy online, where do you buy from? Just out of curiosity.
Definitely not Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, no, I don't do eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or any other similar ones. I mean, there's lots of
Yeah.
apps here where you can sell stuff secondhand, like
Oh, really?
a flea market app,
Okay.
or what do we call them here? Car boot sale.
Okay. Yeah. So our Gumtree's pretty.
Oh,
I've
Gumtree,
used
sure.
Gumtree quite a bit.
But Gumtree can also be quite dodgy.
Yeah. No.
Like-
Listen. I think any place can be. I mean, any marketplace that you have online has
Yeah.
got the potential for someone to try and exploit it
Yeah.
for, the wrong reasons. Yeah. It's always a question about how do you know? Like, what measures do you put in place to do that?
I generally try to avoid buying from like Facebook Marketplace
Yeah.
or Gumtree unless like I absolutely have to, because it's like the risk is just too big. Like, okay, this like getting 10% discount justify you on the big possibility of being scammed. I was like, no.
Yeah, well,
for me, that the answer to that question is no.
no, yeah, exactly, yeah. But I mean, look, the thing is, does it depend on what you're buying? I mean,
Yeah,
you're not going
yeah.
to buy a 68,000 rand couch on Facebook Marketplace. No.
Well, I presume some people
One
would.
careful owner.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, because I bought stuff from Facebook Marketplace. I bought a an old bread slicer, you know, the one that I use for cutting my bolt on.
Yeah.
I bought a 2 stools.
Well, one of
They're
those with a
Yeah.
windy wheel.
one of those, dude. One of those. It's like the best biltong slicer ever.
Okay.
Yeah, just watch out for your fingers though when you get to
Yeah.
the end. And then I also bought like these stools. I mean, I bought some stuff off Gumtree. And I haven't had any bad experiences except for the little trip that I took down to Heidelberg.
Okay, but I think like there's some specific categories that are just prone to scams. It's like cell phones, number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Like the chances that you're gonna like if you're going for a second-hand cell phone from like Facebook Marketplace or let's say Gumtree, you know, the chances that you're gonna actually like somebody's gonna try to scam you, right? Or B, you know, somebody trying to sell you a stolen cell phone, you know?
So probably electronics are probably the ones
Yeah.
where you're going to get the biggest sort of
Yeah.
But I suppose anything that people lift, inverted commas, from a house burglary, from a
TVs, PlayStation, cell phones,
yeah. So anything like that would
laptops.
generally come in a courier. Because I mean, we have spoken about this. The couriers all of a sudden are the targets for hijackings and robberies. And there was another one during the week on our group that came here.
Yeah.
That there was a message that came through. Please avoid this area. Police on scene. Courier hijacker injured. Yes. Sorry.
Lots of smiley faces.
Sorry. No, we love everybody. We love everybody. But talking about that, are we going to keep we mustn't forget about the Trumpism, seeing that I was doing the...
Yeah, I've got some Trumpisms, but before we move off the topic, I see that Zuma, which started all the rioting, him going off to prison, is now being pulled out of prison and taken to a hospital.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
What's
he's
he got
supposed to appear in court next week. Is this all going to kick off again?
Yeah. You know, like, what's a better excuse than the hospital?
Yeah, or like he's now all of a sudden going to become terminally ill and he needs to be released from prison so he can go play golf to recover.
Yeah.
I mean, Shabir Sheikh. Remember good old Shabir Sheikh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? Right?
Well,
so he's been
apparently
taken off
golf-
to a secure facility, which is a military hospital.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, in Durban, military hospital, he's easy to find here.
Well, you
If
reckon
they
someone's
wanna
going to knock
bounce
him
him
off?
out, Well, no, I think they're going to bounce him out. All those
I see what
Zulu
you're
supporters,
I see what you're saying.
you know.
But listen, dude,
10,000
that was an
Zulus pitch up.
excuse. That thing was an excuse about
Sure.
Zuma and them protesting because he had been taken to jail. That was just an excuse to destabilize. You know, have these riots. And
But the
all that kind of
opportunity
stuff.
is there again.
Yeah. No, I do agree.
The opportunity is always
Okay.
going to be there.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on it. So, do you want a Trumpism?
Are we going to do it now or we do it a bit later?
Do it a bit later.
We'll do
a
it
bit
later. So, I mean, the next topic I want to do is like, let's do a bit of a catch up on the AfriCrypt, KG Brothers kind of thing. So, my question is, if you were to be in their situation, where would you go and hide?
North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea. Your favorite place
North
to go hide away.
Like if you need to disappear off the face of this earth, right? Like North Korea. You definitely don't go to UK.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, the question really is that if you're trying to run away, it's like so difficult these days to do something that someone's not going to be able to track you. If you know what I mean? I mean, like if you go and buy an island or you buy citizenship to an island like they did, it's not exactly as if you can go hide on that island because it's a very small place. Because you know that they bought citizenship to some Pacific island. And I was thinking, well, that's great.
That does a visa-free to European countries. So I think the whole point is that, like, you buy the citizenship there, and then you have access to the countries that you want to live in.
Okay.
You know, without actually
like Spain or something.
Yeah, without necessarily gaining their citizenship.
All right.
And tax obligations, you know. Because in the end of the day, you want... Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to hide somewhere, I was thinking more like Philippines, Indonesia, where there's hundreds of islands
Mm.
and large population. It's not the infrastructure is not set up that you can easily be found, but you'd stick out like a sore thumb. So yeah, it's not necessarily word of mouth going, who's this guy who looks different to us is living here now. Word will spread.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that you'll be found that way through gossip and so I'm thinking, do this cleverly. So maybe fly to Canada,
No, dude.
sneak across the border into Alaska, get a little boat down to mainland
Swim over to the Soviet Union
US,
or to Russia. If you
and
can
then
make
No,
it.
no, that's like you really want to avoid US, right? Because regardless whether you are in US, those guys will track you and get you. It's like
No, but it's along the mindset of hiding in plain sight. I'm looking at a lot of the Nazi war criminals, a few that were hiding in plain. They were the last to be found. They're hiding
But the
in
ones
plain
that
sight.
like went down to South America, to Brazil and those places, and lived in
No,
Brazil,
America.
Argentina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Argentina.
there was one found in the UK living
Yeah.
in
Oh
London.
wow.
You serious?
So, yeah, hiding in plain sight. But I would probably go down.
Like Queen's Butler or something.
I'd probably end up in Florida somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, where everybody minds their own business. Everyone's got a dark history, and you just trying to kind of accept it, and you can hide in those. You can hide down there.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be found, sure, but it's a bit. There's less word of mouth going about
Like,
who's here and who's doing what.
Yeah, I think it's the problem is it's like everyone's got a mobile phone these days, and everyone's got like access to Google image search.
Yeah. Reverse search.
So it's like you
Face recognition deluxe.
the chances that like if you in like an near urban center, regardless whether you are South American, somebody's gonna make you, and when somebody's gonna make you,
This
it's
is
like
it.
the question
You've
is
got to go on.
why. It's like, are they gonna try to like roll you for some cash, or are they gonna like give you to the authorities, or this like sell you to the highest bidder type of thing? Because they'll obviously realize that there are people after you. It's like you're not there because you on vacation type of thing.
You've got to go off the grid though, and the problem here is if you're worth millions, multi-millions, and you're used to a bit of luxury, you're not going to be able to adjust so easily. You're going to have a mobile phone. You can't have a mobile phone if you're going into hiding.
No,
You need to
can't.
go off the beaten track and rough it a bit. You can't be splashing around on a Hummer because you're now living out back. No.
I'm thinking.
You've got to watch what you spend your money on. Anything to make you stick out.
I'm thinking I'm thinking like just hypothetically, right? So like if you have to disappear somewhere, like for good, like not for good, not for good would be too long, right? If you have to disappear somewhere for like 5 years, right? You could hypothetically go to like one of the South Asian countries and become a Buddhist monk and just drop off the grid.
Exactly. You could go into the Buddhist a monastery for 10 years.
For like 5 years, right? And then you're gone. Like nobody knows. People are looking for
They'll
you.
forget about you.
They're like until like they forget you.
Do you reckon do you reckon that the Buddhist monks will just keep your secret if they recognize you?
I mean, like, but like recognize you from where, man?
No, I'm just saying if they I don't know. Don't they have Instagram?
A Buddhist monk on Instagram?
No, I'm joking. I'm
Like, this is a good question. But there are some really recluse
I'll ask Alex if
Buddhist
he was
temples. Buddhist temples, like where there's no cell phones, no technology. You basically just meditate and try to achieve a high level of consciousness.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like that would be an ideal place for you to like lay low.
Probably. Yeah, I wouldn't put that past an option.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would.
Nobody's gonna
definitely-
ask you questions about your history or like where you came from.
But definitely, the trick is not to live lavishly. You know what I mean? It's got to be like a slow burn thing. You've got to backpack through Asia, or do a scooter tour through Vietnam, or if you know what I mean. Like that's the kind of stuff you need to do. You
Missionary
need
work
to
in Amazon type of thing.
Yeah, you got to be like exactly missionary work in the Amazon.
But like going back to these to our Cape Town bros, like what's happening with them? Like what's the latest and greatest?
Yeah. So from what I've heard recently is that obviously they've got some very upset customers at the moment.
With really dark histories.
Yeah, some of them with some dark histories. But but interestingly enough, we were talking
already
about
praying for them.
Yeah, he's already praying. So one of the guys came out of hiding in Tanzania, right?
Okay.
So is this in like the last week or so?
Well, in the last 2 weeks, I think it was. Basically what happened was they want to put the company into liquidation, right? So he came out to oppose the company going into liquidation, and there's some... Because it turns out that they involved some company in Hong Kong, and the liquidating company had served the liquidation notice on this company in Hong Kong, and now he's coming out and saying, well, that's not right, because you're supposed to, that's not the contract's not with us, with our company, it's with that Hong Kong company. So anyway, it's all what can I say, bureaucratic and all that kind of stuff. But there's a South African guy who's a forensic guy.
Mm-hmm.
They call him a forensic sleuth, but he's based in the US, but from South Africa originally, and he's been assisting some of these law agencies around the world to unpack what's happened with the AfriCrypt billions. And so he's developed this thing called God's View. It's like a blockchain track and trace program. And he's been helping them. And he says that there's no evidence to support the story of the hacking, apparently out of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Did you know that they said that it was a Ukrainian IP address that
but it's like if you have to use an excuse, like if you got hacked or like whatever, it's like this is like the most plausible excuse. Nobody would really ask questions like, I got hacked, it came from Russia or it came from Ukraine. It's like, okay.
Yeah, or North Korea.
Like you can't say I got hacked and they were from
Johannesburg.
From London. It's like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, he says that the evidence doesn't support the theory. And he said, like, for the last couple of months, before the alleged hack, funds were being depleted out of the various wallets that were under control of AfriCrypt. So it's not looking bright for these dudes. So he's saying that it's probably closer to 43 billion rand that's gone missing, but could be higher when they find out all the wallets that were involved. Yeah. But then there's another Durban private investigator, he's this guy by the name of Sean Paris, I don't know how you pronounce it. He's been hired by 35 of the clients who had invested 50 million rands with, in AfriCrypt. And apparently he's been given an unlimited budget to track them down. So
I wonder who those clients are.
Yeah. Deep pockets. Yeah. So, I mean, what would you do if you had all that money? Like we were talking about it now, like laying low. So the eldest brother, well, let's just say he likes to spend his money. He bought a Lamborghini for 4.75 million rand. And then slapped on a couple of extras, put on an exhaust, put on a spoiler. The exhaust set him back 60 grand. Spoiler 300,000. Talk about living under the radar. Huh? So apparently they lived in Belito, at Zimbabwe estate.
A place to be.
And
if you have the cash.
Apparently they rented this place and they put down 720,000 rand up front for the rent. I would imagine
in Africoin or
cash. I don't know. I don't know how they paid. But yeah, and I mean they'd be like buying watches worth 200,000 rand, buying suits, 20 grand suits, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Because I mean, you think about it, if you started a business, a legitimate business trading in crypto coin or whatever, I mean, like what would you expect to be earning from let's say commission or whatever, whatever your fee structure was for doing this trading for these people. I mean, do you think, I don't know. I mean, surely it would take you a couple of years to build up some wealth before you can start dropping this kind of money on luxuries.
Look, all of this basically leads to, like get rich, rip off some people type of.
No,
But
no,
How old are these guys?
No, I know that, but
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Is that, I mean, is it wrong to say that it's not feasible or plausible that they would be able to be chucking this kind of money around
Not a chance.
after
dude.
2 years
Not a chance.
of
Not a chance.
trading?
Not a chance.
Yeah,
But if you look at
Well-
like the wealthiest individuals like in this world, you're
Yeah.
gonna have guys like literally wearing like a $50 shirt with a 3,000, maybe not even 3,000, $300 watch,
yeah,
and this guy packs like 2 billion in wealth.
yes,
It's like, and it's like looks like a completely regular guy because it's like once you get to a certain level, right? It's like, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't
you
matter.
got
what
nothing
it
to
is.
prove.
I got nothing to prove, man. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know.
How old are these
clearly
guys?
we're not living a life that was not drawing attention to them. That's for sure. Anyway, so we'll have to see what happens in the story. We'll monitor it closely.
How old are these guys?
21 and 18.
Yeah, you see, they don't have a sense of wealth. So they're just going to see money, spend money, right?
they don't
And the
have
more-
a sense of future, It's like, and things look
Delayed gratification.
delayed gratification and building up portfolios and that type of stuff.
Okay, so should the conversation then be more around how are we going to predict how long it is before the news catches up with them or something catches up with them?
Or people are
Because
gonna
it's
catch
inevitable
up
now.
with them. And
Yeah.
it's not gonna look good.
Yeah,
So that's
I
the sad
know.
thing because it's like once you have and the news that Andrew mentioned is like one private investigator, right, that was hired by some clients that represent not even 0.01% of the funds that they've embezzled, right? So like imagine there's some really, really dark figures that not gonna come out, and say, well, we've hired a private investigator, but who actually already put up the channel, put these guys on the kill list channel. And like, I don't know, like, is it worthwhile living your life? Like knowing
On
that
the run.
No, not just on the run. The fact that people are gonna catch you and put you
Yeah,
in jail
exactly.
is now the least of your worries.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that people are gonna catch up with you and like quietly dispose of you and like in some gruesome and dodgy way, that possibility is very high at the moment.
Yeah.
Because those guys
Absolutely.
already know now, like they're not gonna get.
I'm going to wait
out.
for the Netflix series to be made so I can see what happens.
They're not. These guys that basically lost the money, they know they're not gonna get the money out now. So like they.
Oh,
just,
this a vengeance thing. Yeah.
This is just like everybody just would want to get a piece of these dudes,
Yeah.
like literally.
They're going to make a movie out of this, I'm sure.
You think so?
I don't know. It depends how it ends.
Dude.
Well, we'll predict the ending in the Netflix series, and then a week later it'll happen.
yeah, exactly.
Netflix inadvertently, accidentally
Yeah,
leads
reveals.
the chasers to the right place.
Well, hypothetically, think about it this way, right? Like if these guys just drop off the radar and nobody ever finds them or any traces of them, you know what happened to them.
Yes.
Somebody caught up and
Yeah, they ain't coming back. Yeah, no, listen, dude. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but I mean, listen, I don't know.
I think the safest place for them is in the solitary confinement in jail.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm sure they could, based on the movies that I watched, I'm sure they could get someone
in the
could
US,
get them. Yeah.
in the US, in the
Yeah.
maximum security, like US prison.
Yeah. But anyway, just talking about cryptocurrencies, I was reading something else the other day that, so like in the US, apparently Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is classified as under the same kind of law as property.
Wow, that's
Right.
interesting.
So there's this thing that in the US that if there's property that's been that hasn't been used or something for a certain period of time, that it becomes part of the state, right?
Wow.
So now they're saying the same thing is potentially going to happen to people's like Bitcoin wallets and all that. So, like for instance, if you haven't transacted with it for a period of time and it's dormant, so it's like if you were to you take some money, you put it in there, you think, okay, I'm just going to leave it, I'm going to forget about it, and one day, hopefully one day when Bitcoin's like 3 times more, 10 times more than it is now, you'll have this investment. Well, it turns out that you might go back to your wallet and all your money's gone. Right.
But how's that possible, right? Does US, like for example, say if you have a property, right?
Yeah.
And the property's paid off and there are no debts on that property.
Yeah.
Right? Can the state actually confiscate
No, well,
that
no.
property?
Look, I mean, there's activity on it though. So like, so I don't know if I've got the detail here, but there was some. It says this is okay. Here's how unclaimed property law usually works. Every 4 businesses are required to remit any unclaimed property to the state, right? So, like for instance, let's say someone died, right, as part of an estate, and somewhere along the line, no one. Let's say it was left to the kids, and the kids are like in another country, and they don't do anything with it, right? So, in other words, it's I don't know. Then they
Okay,
then
no,
they can
that
repossess it.
that makes sense. But then,
Yeah.
but then it's like that's a case where basically, like the property in that estate, they repossessing it not. I think like I just imagine how it would work. They would repossess it not because it's like nobody's doing anything with it. They're repossessing it because it's racking up bills, right?
Maybe
And it's reaching a point where it's like, okay, we need to recover the money on the municipal services, and this
fair
and this
enough.
and this,
Yeah.
and then we need to actually basically put this on the auction, sell it, recover the money, and then, yeah.
No, I'm sure.
Like, if the property is paid off, right, and the property is maintained in the sense that, like, all the bills for the property is being paid, right? Like, I don't think they're gonna touch it. They could touch it, right?
Yeah,
because
sure.
This is a bit dodgy, though. I mean, what if you got a bank account that has got $1 million in it, and you're just leaving it there for a rainy day?
Here it says. That means that also, like from a banking point of view, if there's an account holder who hasn't accessed their account or responded to any communications, that they also have.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it responded to communications, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did they
So
do that?
I would
with
imagine
crypto?
that they would like, okay, but, the chances are that the person's dead, and that it hasn't been claimed. Whoever was the inheritor or whatever.
What about share certificates?
I don't know.
Same thing. You buy something and you just like, right, I own 1,000 shares in this company. Here's my certificate. I'm not going to do anything with this for 50 years.
Yeah. No, exactly. So anyway, I mean, that's the thing, is
dodgy,
that they're
though,
starting
like,
to.
That's really dodgy, though, because it's like, I understand there's certain circumstances where that's required, right? So when like the estate is not being claimed and it's just racking up the bills, right? So that's required, because otherwise you're just gonna have a bunch of dilapidated properties all over the city, you know, that's costing the city, So that's required. With a bank account, I don't see the rationale, since there's like, if there's money in bank account and the bank account is paid up, right? So it's like the amount of money it takes to service it is enough in the bank account. So like, I don't see the rationale. Like, how could somebody just take your stuff? Even if you're dead?
Well, look, in this country,
Yeah.
if you don't have a will and you pass away,
Yeah.
the money, your assets get turned over to the state.
But if you have a will,
Yeah, if you have a will, like if I say, okay, I'm leaving everything to my kids, great. But if I die and I haven't got a will,
yeah.
right, the law says that it goes to the state.
Wow.
Yeah. Check that out.
No, but that's
Oleg's making
understandable.
a mental
But
note to go and write a will.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Where's
And
that piece of paper?
How does it work in the UK, Lester?
Can I have you guys witness, please?
Lester, how does it work in the UK?
I don't know.
Does your stuff
It
go to the
goes
Queen?
into I forget, I don't know the terminology.
Queen and
but
country?
if somebody dies and there's no will, the state I say the state, the value of the estate, and whatever that includes, goes into like a limbo status, and then there's a period of time where people can make claims to get to claim against that estate, and it's like that for a period of time, and then it goes into the actual government coffers.
You
So
probably find the same thing
there's-
happens in South Africa. I just paraphrased it a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's companies out. There's even a TV series on it where these because it's advertised on a weekly basis by the state to say these are the estates that we have no claims against. Here's the values. So companies are now they grab the big expensive ones and they go, right, we'll find a relative related to this.
I've seen
person
that.
who's
I've
deceased.
seen that. That's yeah.
And yeah, for a percentage of the estate value,
Yeah.
they will go and hunt down these people.
Yeah. It just
It's a business.
it takes me to the Storage Wars reality TV show kind of thing. With some, they've got unclaimed storage units. Yeah, and then they auction them off.
But you don't know what's inside.
You don't know what's inside.
Man.
And then the guy will open the
Man.
thing and the guy will say, okay, people will be looking and say, okay, I'll give you $2,000 or whatever. And then they, either they've got junk or they find so the one series that I was watching, the guy bought this thing. It looks like it was old kids' toys and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, a couple of $100 for the contents because it looked like absolute shit in there. And while he was going through there, he found a box, and inside the box he found an early or late 1800s, early 1900s Colt revolver worth a couple of $1,000. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, full of gold bars.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
So
that too.
I do like that concept of the storage wars. It's hit and miss, right? Sometimes they lose massive, sometimes they win big. I mean, I saw one with a shipping container that was never claimed. All a bit dodgy, if you ask me. So again, I
what
opened
did
the
they
doors
find
of
in
this
there?
long container. You can't see what's at the back, but it just looks like a whole bunch of fridges at the front or something.
Mm.
And this guy bought this container for $100,000, I think it was. And everyone's going, that's a gamble, man. And yes, at the back, right at the back was a little something. It was like a Lamborghini or something. And then there was another one behind it, kind of thing. But you couldn't see. And he was like, because there was a few containers sold, so the people that were bidding, they were still on the dock. So he took this car and he went for a spin around the docks, hooting at them all as he went around.
My sort of
Do we have something like that?
No. My kind of dream would be you've made it in the corporate world or whatever, and you're just tired of it, and you go buy some old farm there, and there's got some flipping shed there, and you open up the shed, and it's got an old Porsche or a couple of muscle cars parked in there that the oak's forgotten about, covered or whatever. I mean, I can't imagine anything more satisfying than that. Finding something old that's worth money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there is limitations. I suppose I'm wondering if it's the different states in America.
Yeah.
Because if you find firearms or any other types of explosives or anything like that in your container, you have to hand it in. You cannot. You
It's not
relinquish
yours.
ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's about gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yours.
Fine,
Jewelry,
keeping.
diamonds.
Yeah. Anyway, on that, talking about America, give us a Trumpism there.
America.
Well, I've got two here.
You got two.
I've got two because I've missed a couple of weeks. So this is it. That the leader of the biggest democracy in the world, at a G7 conference, at a press conference in 2019, and during this conference, he was asked about how things were going with France, and he goes, "France is a great nation. It's being run. A lot of things are happening." There you go. That's
That is weird.
Really? What do you exactly? What?
Dude,
You'd
I
expect
think-
more of a elaborate sort of, yes, our relationship with France is being rebuilt, and we're always there
Yeah.
since the war. France is a great nation. It's being run. No shit.
I think
A lot of things are happening. No
I think
shit.
for this slot, you've got to go and find yourself a Donald Trump mask, right? You must work on your Donald Trump impressions
Yeah.
and get get it down to a T. And
All right, now
it'll
now
be
I've
a
got
feature.
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
All right, the other one.
Yeah.
This is during a speech at the House of
Representatives. Or
at
something.
the Republican
Okay.
retreat, actually, in 2019. And he was telling during his speech, he was saying, "Now this is about considering that he's not a vain man, but he is a vain man. That's another thing that he's written on Twitter. I'm vain, but I'm not vain.
Mm.
Considering all that, he was talking about his complexion, which may be more of a tangerine orange color. So he goes, we've been forced to use a certain, so hang on, his words are, the bulb that we're being forced to use, number one, most importantly, the light's no good. I always look orange. And so do you. The light is the worst. So he's blamed it all, indoors and outdoors and everywhere he goes, despite him looking orange, he's saying it's the light.
It's the
It's
bulb.
the light bulb. Number
Yes.
one.
It's the sun, dude.
Okay. So this is at a retreat to get all the Republican senators and all the support together. This is what he talks about.
Crazy.
This is wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you talked about more important things. Why are you talking about yourself and your color?
It's not vain.
There we
dude.
go. Not vain at all.
He's not vain at all. No.
He's
at all.
not vain. But the song is probably about him. Okay. There's your Trumpisms done.
And your audition for American Idol. X Factor.
X Factor
The Voice.
UK.
The Voice. Yeah. Right. So,
Mm.
days of the year, if you've got something for us.
Oh, do you want some days of the year? Okay.
Why not?
Well, let's see. So I've been a bit quiet today. Perhaps it's because of my hangover. Because yesterday was
Hangover?
International Beer Day.
International Beer Day.
That was
Wow.
yesterday. If you've missed it, you've missed it. You have to wait
Damn,
a
I
year
missed
before
it.
you can have a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Non-alcoholic.
Today
Yes.
0%.
Yes.
is National Lighthouse Day, Purple Heart Day. The American, if you get
Yeah.
if you're in the American military and you get injured, you get awarded the Purple Heart for your contribution.
Isn't the Purple Heart like the highest honor?
I don't
No.
know.
It's not.
No, no. That's the Congressional Medal of Honor. And there's a few flavors of that. All right, tomorrow. Tomorrow is more an interesting one. Tomorrow there's a National Sneak Some Zucchini into Your Neighbor's Porch Day in
I
America.
thought you were going to say something else, but anyway.
I
Yeah.
was like, I'm like sneaking what?
Sneaking what and where?
And I'm struggling to find the history behind this, but it is officially tomorrow is the National Sneak Some Zucchini into Your Neighbor's Porch Day. And it must be a big thing if it's become a national day. And the only thing I can find around it is zucchini is coming in to season about now, and everybody who grows them, because they're easy to grow and it features in a lot of the staple meals there. You invariably have too much of a harvest. So what you do is you go and leave it in your
share with
neighbor's
your
porch.
neighbor.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. That's really
exactly.
cool.
Very, very,
Sharing
very
is
kind.
caring, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sharing is caring. Yeah. Definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But
So
they call it
you
sneak some zucchini into your neighbor's porch day. It's a big title for a national day.
Yeah.
All right. On this day, well, in 2008, there was a little war between Russia and Georgia. Yeah.
5 days.
Yeah. When the Russian forces came in to defend the locals, it was all over quite quickly. In 1974, Daredevil walks a high wire between the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. You can't do that anymore.
No.
But I mean, that's just ridiculous. In 1974, that high up, I still don't know how people do this. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we don't talk
And
about heights.
they always seem to be French as well.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I'm not afraid of heights. Not particularly afraid of heights. I think I have a healthy respect.
Unlike other people.
Unlike other people. I'm not pointing any fingers,
Yeah.
But
Just
when
follow my eyes.
when I see these guys, You know, when I see these guys walking tightrope, like in between two suspended mountain cliffs with like 200 meters of nothingness below, I'm like, I get
There's
heart
got to be movement.
palpitations.
There's got to be wind.
No, like there's generally wind, and you can see that the rope is going like this, and this guy is just slowly, sometimes without any support, like walking across it, and I'm like,
Juggling
I'm like-
chainsaws.
like,
Riding a bicycle.
I'm like, it's like you need something else. Like you need something else to be able to do that. Like I wouldn't have that in me. I think I'd freak out, even if I have a triple layer of security, like 3 ropes chained to different places. I'd still be nervous about the whole experience, you know. And this guy looks like a completely different zone, just slowly walking across.
He's,
Boom.
yeah, I don't know.
You see,
Not for you.
Andrew's palms are already sweating.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's shifting.
I'm really holding
nervously.
on to the
We're not
table.
asking you to do this.
No.
Okay, today is a birthday of a certain South African model actress,
Oh, really?
Charlize Theron.
Theron.
How do you pronounce it correctly, by the way?
Theron.
Tron.
So what year do you think she
says
was born in?
Theron.
Theron, yeah, because
Theron.
I thought it was
Theron.
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 Yeah, I don't know. It's
Like,
not-
how do you pronounce it correctly with Afrikaans
don't know.
accent?
But I mean, what is the actual origin of that surname? Is it Dutch?
I think
Is
it's
it
French.
French?
French
Was it?
Huguenot.
Yeah. So we'll have to ask the French. How would they pronounce it?
Theron.
Theron. So, interestingly enough, it's actually my eldest daughter's birthday today as well. So
Oh,
she
wow.
shares a birthday with
Charlize.
Charlize Theron. Yeah,
Well,
Are you guys
There you go.
going out
they should
celebrating?
call each other.
on Monday.
Okay.
Hey, is she?
Well, she should give Charlize a call and say, "Hey, how's it?"
In retrospect, I should have gone on to Cameo and paid Charlize Theron to wish her a birthday. Don't you think that would have been cool?
That would be cool.
I only thought about
Well, you
it
still
now.
got a few hours.
You got a few hours, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how quickly Charlize Theron will respond.
North America, they're just
Maybe
waking
in
up.
time for next year.
Not if she's in North America, right? They still.
Well,
they
she
ca-
might be
Yeah, but
in
I mean,
isolation in
Imagine
Joburg,
all the
but only-
cameos she needs to go through.
I'm pretty sure somebody does it.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, there you go.
So what year do you think she was born in? Charlize.
So,
Your
75.
daughter. I won't put you on the spot for that.
75. Not your daughter, Charlize Theron.
I don't know. How old is she? She's already had some plastic surgery, so she must be a little bit older. I don't know.
That
Late
doesn't mean
70s?
anything because they do that
78.
quite young.
75,
78.
dude.
I
78.
would have. I was in the region of 78,
Yeah.
but Oleg is right. 75.
Oh, well
75.
done.
She's only 3 years younger than you, dude.
Us, you mean? Yeah, so I've, last weekend I.
Can I be honest with you? That was
yeah.
my lucky guess, for real.
Well
Like,
done, dude.
I was like,
Well done.
I
So it
didn't
was
know.
lucky, unlike my Coke test, which was a lot
Yeah,
more
I know.
scientific.
I watched that the other day and I still can't believe it. Still can't believe it.
Skills.
Yeah. So anyway, last weekend a mate of mine turned 50. It was quite a surreal
Yeah.
moment for both of us.
It's quite.
Was it like,
Oh well, I mean the thing is like,
it was like penny dropped?
yeah, the penny. Well, like
In
I
slow
had like
motion.
I had like a window into what 50 was going to look like.
Okay, so it wasn't like
Fortunately, no different to 49.
penny dropped in slow motion. You couldn't hear a sound.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I couldn't pick up the penny.
Couldn't pick up the
afterwards.
penny.
Took me a week to recover from picking up the penny. Yeah. Anyway. Doo-doo.
Well, look.
Right.
look,
So, guys, I think that's a wrap.
that's literally a wrap.
That's
of
a
the
wrap.
day.
We're on time, man. Wrap of the
This
day.
is
A wrap of the day. No pun intended.
Chicken.
Chicken wrap. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll be back
Soon.
next week.
Very soon.
What's next week? Next week's Middle of
16.
August already.
Yeah.
Next week. Hey, roll on
Today.
Christmas, baby.
Today is the day of the last test between the Lions, the British and Irish Lions, and the Springboks.
And it's even, isn't it? It's 1-1, huh?
It's
So it's the
1-1,
decider.
Yeah. It's a
I
big game.
managed to miss this whole tour, so I'm gonna
Have
have to go and source my South African compatriots in this village, and go and make an appearance at the local rugby club.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
are,
we-
are there South African compatriots in your village?
I mean, South Africans are everywhere, man. Everywhere.
But you
Anywhere in
you,
the world
you
you
stay in
go.
a small
If
village with
some
like
guy goes to Antarctica, you'll know there'll be some guy called Van der Vestes, and he's been there for like 2 weeks ahead of you, going, "Hey, how's it? Some lovely people down here. It's
How's
got a little
it?
braai going, snook on the braai." They're everywhere, man. It's phenomenal.
wow.
Right. Good luck to who? The Springboks or the Lions?
No, Springboks.
Springboks. All the way. All the way.
Back there.
And we haven't spoken about Formula One, dude.
I know.
Because I don't want
Yes,
to talk
we
about.
haven't.
I don't want to talk about it.
Are you guys? Are you-
Maybe.
Rock
Okay.
on.
Maybe.
not rock on.
Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week.
Is this the end of Lewis Hamilton's reign? Is
No,
this
no,
the
no.
start of the end?
Nah, I think Red Bull have overcooked it.
Yeah.
I'll leave you with
I
that.
think we're starting
We can dissect it next week. I've already had a rant on social media. Go check out my Facebook page.
Okay.
I can't wait for
I'll check it out.
Okay, guys, we'll see you next week.